Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're making something absolutely mind-bogglingly delicious. What is it, you ask? Because I can hear you asking. Loco Moco, which is one of the greatest late-night bar foods of all time. This is Loco Moco. This is delicious. When you think of some of the late night bar food trends and greatest things that have ever been created, this is one of them. Think about it. Chicken wings, the hot brown in Kentucky, nachos, chicken and waffles. All those amazingly delicious things were created because of the late night bar crowd. They need something to eat after they've drank their faces off. That's where Loco Moco comes in. This is one of those things, and it's native to Hawaii.
So the first thing I want to do is apologize to everyone for the terrible audio and video at the intro and the outro. I'm working through some technical difficulties as I'm learning this. But anyway, so we're going to take 2 large onions. We're going to cut them in half. We're going to cut them into 1/4-inch half rings, and then we're going to cut that in half again. So you have 1/4-inch half rings. Yeah, I can math. Onions are truly the root of this. Now these are for our gravy. We're going to do a 12-ounce package of whole baby Portobello mushrooms. Again, you're going to cut them about 1/4-inch-ish thick. You don't want to cut them too thin. They're going to cook for a while, even though mushrooms do have a tremendous amount of water. That water's going to render out, so you don't want them too small or they kind of wither into nothing. You want to know you got a mushroom in your mouth. So cut them up. Now, our meat. This is 1 pound of 80/20 ground beef. That's 80% beef, 20% fat. And we're going to make 3 patties out of it, 1/3 of a pound each. Funny side note about 1/3 of a pound. A&W, the famous root beer company, has restaurants, and they tried to take McDonald's 1/4 pounder head on. And they came out with a 1/3 pound, a 1/3 pounder. And yeah, people were unhappy because they thought 1/3 of a pound was smaller because 3 is smaller than 4. They did not learn fractions. You know, 5 out of 4 people have problems with fractions. We're going to make these patties nice. You want them kind of thick, about that big. And they're going to cook up to a perfect consistency with a nice crust on the outside and just slightly pink in the middle. There you go. Now, to a heavy-bottomed pan, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of canola or other neutral-tasting oil. We're going to get it nice and hot. I'm using this kind of wok-type pan with high sides just to kind of keep the splatter in. I'm going to put these in at medium to medium-high heat. You don't want the heat up too high because you want these to cook without burning. You want a nice crust, but you don't want to cremate them. You don't want charcoal. And these will cook for about 5 minutes per side. Going to cook them for 5, flip them, cook them for 5, then we'll take them out and let them rest while we make our gravy. Don't forget to season with salt and pepper. You're going to season both sides, so once you flip them, we're going to season the other side. I really love the smell of beef cooking. It's just, I love it. Now we're going to give these a little flippy flip. And as we flip them, just take a moment to enjoy the sizzle. That's what heaven sounds like. So we flipped them. We're going to cook them for another 5 minutes. Season with salt and pepper. And let them go. Don't mess with them. You want that crust to form. You want a fond to form on the bottom of the pan, which is going to help us make our gravy dark and delicious later. So just let it go. Our 5 minutes are up. Now we're going to remove them, put them onto a plate. Then we're going to put that plate in the oven on warm just so they stay warm and not overcook. Ta-da! Delicious. Now we're going to add our onions to the pan. We're going to get them to start cooking. We're going to add some salt to help draw out some of that water. That fond that's on the bottom of this pan is going to dissolve in the liquid, and it is packed with flavor. If you're familiar with what the Maillard reactions are, if not, you can Google it. You'll learn a lot, and it's the caramelization process called the Maillard reaction. That's what's on the bottom of the pan. What doesn't look pretty right now is not only going to make our sauce dark and delicious, but it's going to make it super dark and delicious. Or maybe not super dark, but it will make it super delicious, that I promise you. So once the onions start, we're going to drop our mushrooms in, let them cook. These are going to cook for a while because we want to render out a lot of that water. Mushrooms are, I forget what the percentage is off the top of my head, but they're mostly water. So we're going to let this cook. This is at about a medium heat. We don't want it to cook too fast. We want that water to come out. We want them to start to caramelize. Time equals flavor. Remember that. I don't know who said that. Maybe it was me. I don't know. But look at that. Look at that. They're starting to pull up that fond from the bottom. Season with pepper, because pepper is delicious. And if you use fresh ground pepper, you get extra points. Give it a stir. If the pan feels too dry, you can add some beef stock. What I do is the recipe calls for 4 cups of beef stock. What I do is I take out 2 cups of it, and then the other 2 cups I'll add as I cook to keep the pan moist, to keep the pan wet, and to help pull up some of that fond. That'll reduce, and that'll be even more flavor. So little by little, you can add a few drops in. The camera battery died. I was supposed to add 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire. What? Put in a teaspoon of what's this here sauce, or as Justin Wilson would say, the Lee and Perrin. See, there we go. We're adding in a little bit of our beef broth. Got to keep it moist, and that'll help dissolve. Look at that. The bottom of the pan is starting to come very clean. Still a couple little pieces, and they'll come up, but you gotta kind of let it cook down to almost dry, then add liquid, then let it reduce, and that'll keep intensifying that flavor. It'll intensify the flavor of the mushrooms, the onions, and the beef broth, and the what's this here sauce. Then we're going to add about a tablespoon of butter. This butter was ice cold out of the fridge, so it was slow to melt, but we'll get that mixed in. That's going to give us some nice body to this. One thing to prepare off to the side while this is cooking is take about a half a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Dissolve the cornstarch in the water. We're going to add that in a little bit, but it's nice to get it hydrated first. Going to add a little bit more beef stock. Got to keep the pan moist, otherwise it'll start sticking and burning. Let this reduce down a little bit, and then we'll add the rest of it. Look at that. There's no fake coloring added to this. That is the color from everything we've cooked so far. The natural colors is that delicious, beautiful brown color. Now that that's reduced, we're going to add the rest of our beef broth. We'll let it come up to a boil, and once it's back up to a boil, we're going to add our cornstarch slurry. And if you watch, I mean, right after I add it, I'll give it a stir, and you'll see it thicken right before your eyes. I mean, it'll happens that quick. Look at that. It went from, very liquidy to nice and gravy-like. It's like magic. It's food magic. We're doing magic in the kitchen. Now I'm going to move this pan over to another burner just to keep it warm. We still have one more thing to cook for this, and that's our fried egg. You're going to want to cook about 3 cups. You're going to want to end up with about 3 cups of cooked rice. Cook it however you like. I'm going to have a video on my rice cooking preference, but you want about 3 cups because you're going to form the rice into a bowl, and you're going to put the burger on top, then gravy, then see, here we go. Form your rice. Then we're going to top it with a nice burger patty. Don't be cheap with your gravy. Be generous. Look at that. And then we top it with the fried egg. It's supposed to be sunny side up. I'm not a fan of sunny side up. I prefer over easy. So cook it how you like it. To me, That's perfect.
Okay, so we made this, we need to eat this. And I've been dying to eat this. Gushy eggs. Oh, wow. Mmm. That is absolutely incredible. It's got flavor. It's very comforting, and it definitely feels like it'll settle that alcohol down, if you know what I mean. This is good. So there you have it, Loco Moco. You can try this any time of day. You don't have to wait until you're back from the bar at 3 o'clock in the morning. Definitely try it. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with everyone you know because it helps me out. And come on, I'm a nice guy and I deserve it. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Toodaloo.